In this video, we're going to answer the question, how much does it cost to hire a digital marketing agency? You might be thinking about whether to hire an agency or hire somebody internally to do your marketing. Both could be decent options, really depends on where you're at in your journey and your annual revenue. So one of the rules of thumb that we say to clients is you should be spending between 6 to 8% of your annual revenue on your marketing. Now that doesn't all have to be digital. That could be flyers, print, trade shows, all that stuff, but all encompassing, it should be 6 to 8%. So if you're a $500,000 annual revenue business, then you're looking at roughly 7% would be $35,000, breaking it down to $3,000 a month. Now that's not just $3,000 a month for an agency to do the service. You have to factor in ad spend there as well. If you're running any Google advertising, if you're running any Meta advertising, you have to factor that in. Now, if you go with cheap agencies, there's a good chance you're going to be making expensive mistakes. If their budget is really low, they're probably going to miss the mark in understanding your brand, probably putting the time and energy into a proper strategy for your business. This all has to be factored into that budget. So if you see a really opportunistic opportunity to hire an agency for say a few $100s a month, you're gonna get what you pay for. Strategy has a price tag. Real strategy equals experience. People that have been there before, that have spent budgets in industries that you work in. This is where you're going to be able to leverage that knowledge of the agency. That's why it's important to ask the right questions before hiring that agency. But that is where the real ROI lives, is through the experience of that agency or marketing expert in doing the advertising for you. Now, you got to think, going back to the budget, if you have a budget, let's say of $3,000 a month, right? Where should you allocate that budget? This is on a different video, not for this video, but it's a good question. It's like, where do you start? Do you start with Google Ads? Do you start with SEO? One thing is for sure that if you're trying to do everything within a budget, you're better off doing nothing. Depending on what your budget is, you might just want to deploy it towards one initiative, especially if you're a small business with a tiny budget. However, if you're a bigger business, let's say 7-figure business, it's a good opportunity to have a marketing liaison internally working with an agency to be able to achieve your goals. One thing is for sure, if you hire one person, there's a good chance they're not going to be solid in everything. And you want to avoid having that jack of all trades, master of none. So in a lot of cases, you might have a marketing expert that's really good at strategy and creative, but maybe doesn't have the knowledge in SEO. So in that case there, you might want to seek out the expertise of an agency to help complement all those efforts that your marketing professional is making. Last but not least, think long-term, not just budget. Focus on the value, not the price that they're bringing. If you just want leads tomorrow and you're just looking for the cheapest agency to get you leads, it's short-term thinking, and you're not thinking for the long term. You have to think about the overall strategy and those people that are seeing your ads or seeing your website tomorrow. How are they being nurtured 6 months down the road? Okay, this is important to note. So again, think long-term, not short-term. If you found this video helpful, give a like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.